See if we can find the live feed on the other computer here. Guys, I'm having trouble finding my own live feed. Let's do this. There we go. Click on here. Chester, knock it off, dude. Sorry guys, my dog is just going nuts over here. Scratching himself. Alright, what do we got? Got 7 people on here so far. Oh, somebody gave me a thumbs down. We got a smart ass in here. Yep, Casper, it's beer 30. I got a little delay going on here, guys. So I stream off my phone, so it's up there. But I've got my laptop down here, so of course there's a little delay. And it's kind of weird watching myself. What do we got? How many people we got? We got 5. Hey JT, what's going on, brother? Yeah, long time no see. Yeah, it's been a while since I did a live feed, guys. Just had a lot going on, really. Old school budget racing, what's up? JT, I have a 138-pound pit bull golden retriever mix named Chester. Yeah. Well, my Chester is we think, a Husky Shepherd mix, and he's an asshole. And for some reason, currently, he's, like, he knows I'm talking about him. He's sitting here just got this look on his face. But for some reason, he's just chewing himself to pieces right now. And I don't know why, because we use flea and tick spray on him. Plus, we give him flea and tick baths. So I don't know why he's always scratching himself. Yeah, guys, I hadn't done a live feed in a while, but I wanted to do one mainly because a lot of you guys have been just blowing me up with questions and stuff, so I figure I'd just give you a shot at asking me real time. So we're gonna wait just a little while for some more people to get on before I do the drawing for the t-shirt. We'll choose the winner for that. I actually asked you guys earlier today. I put up a poll. Let's check on that and see what it says. I put up a poll and said, who wants me to just do the t-shirt drawing tonight while I'm on the live feed? And last I checked, it was pretty overwhelming. Yes, you wanted me to. So let's see here. I'm going to check it right now. Yeah, right now it says 87% say yes. So we're going to do it on the live feed tonight. That way you guys can see me do it live. You know there's no trickery going on or anything. All right. How many we got? We got 9 watching. We got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. I think the last time I did a live feed, at one point, we had over 100 people on at the same time. And I don't expect to have that many tonight. But for those of you who are already here, if you've got any questions, you can go ahead and start asking while we wait for more people to come on. And yeah, we'll go ahead and kick this thing off. As usual with the live feed, I'll stay on here within reason, as long as you guys are talkative, asking questions, whatever. I'll stay on here. When the chat goes dead, that's usually when I leave. Sometimes I have to cut it off anyway, because I know some of you may remember, like the first live feed I ever did, I ended up being on here till 2 o'clock in the morning. It was like a 5.5 hour live feed because everybody was just blowing me up. Mr. Black, what's up, man? Let's see. We'll stay on here until 1 a.m. No, I can't do the 1 a.m. thing again this time, man. I can't do it. Oh, got 11 people watching now. Keep on coming, guys. So the reason I decided to do a live feed tonight instead of another video, while everybody's coming in, I'll just kind of talk about it. Guys, I have been working on this car all week. You've seen the videos. I think I put out 5 videos in the last 7 days. I have never done that before in the 3.5 years I've had this channel. Usually I do like 1 video a week, or you know, at the most 2 a week sometimes. And I pumped out 5 videos in 7 days there, and I wanted to kind of take a little break from working on the car, and especially in light of all the questions and comments that have been coming in on all the videos lately. I just wanted to take a little break from the car, and instead of working on the car and doing a video tonight, I was like, I'll just do a live feed, and you guys can come on. We'll do the t-shirt drawing, and then, you know, if you've got questions about, well, Chaos Theory or China Vet or the DR Nova, or, you know, whatever, if you've got questions about anything, any of the project vehicles on the channel, I'll take those, or, you know, just random questions, whatever. Let's see here. Brad McDonald, hey Robert, when is English Mountain starting back up? Tomorrow. I believe they're having like a streetcar event up there tomorrow night. So I thought that Greg had shared that on the Bad Luck Garage group page, but he may not have. If he didn't, I need to put it up there. But I could have swore he did. But yeah, they're having an event tomorrow night for like real street cars. I forget what he's calling it, but it's, you know, actual like daily driver street cars, not street cars, you know. Actual street cars. Let's see here. Been HP tunering my car all day. Yeah, I gotta be honest, man. I'm looking forward to not having to use HP tuners anymore. Loving the Chaos Theory content. I appreciate it, man. I'm loving working on it. I really am. Like I said, I just had to take a little break tonight. We got 13 on here. Let's see. Get a little more on here. Guys, share this. You know, if you've got any friends that are on the page too that might not have their notifications turned on, let them know the video's on. Share it on Facebook or whatever. JT Marshall, I finally started working on my S10 LS swap again. Got a van ECM that'll run both drive-by cable and drive-by wire, and a wire harness. Basically just need to buy my engine mounts, oil pan, and get the ECM flashed. It's PCM, man. I'm gonna give you shit about that, but yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I'll go over that. It's like the difference. It's like when people, you know, talk engine versus motor. ECM is engine control module, and that's all it does is control an engine. A PCM is powertrain control module, so it usually controls the engine and transmission. So that's why people refer to like the 99 through early 07s as PCMs, because the transmission control and everything is in the same unit. And then from then up, it's called an ECM because it's only controlling the engine. There's a separate module to control the transmission. It doesn't matter, man. I'm just, you know, I'm just explaining that because I knew that question would come up next because I was giving crap about it. Let's see here. Shocker 998. What part of Tennessee are you from? Looking to move towards Nashville, Mont Juliet, Lebanon, and trying to fill out the local car scene, racing, turbo LS stuff, roadkill type stuff. Great channel, but I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I'm about 2.5 or 3 hours east of Nashville. Indecisive. That's my buddy Zane, guys. Chaos Theory needs some X-pipe in it. Dude, yeah, I hadn't told you yet, but the X pipe is not going to work how we were talking about, and it's just because the angles of the X pipe are too extreme. Like if it had straight in angles, I could probably make it work, but it's not going to work like we were talking about. And everybody else on here right now, the other 17 people on here, have no clue what me and Zane are talking about right now, and it's because it was something kind of different that Zane brought up that I was going to try to do to the car, but I don't think it's going to work out. Yeah, it was fun to drink. I thought it was a cool idea, man. Like when you first said it, I was like, and then as I thought about it more, I was like, that would be cool as shit. But just the design of this particular X pipe, like it actually is an X. Like a lot of X pipes, they come straight in, then go down. This one doesn't. Like it actually, it's just the angles are too messed up. It would have the exhaust dropping down under the frame. With like, it would have to be a really tight bend coming up, which would just not be good for power. It might sound like a farm truck without it, but as long as it goes fast. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Guys, you've been seeing me wear a hat a lot. I don't like wearing hats, and I don't normally wear them. But because of what's been going on lately, I have not had a haircut in like 2 months. And like my head is just like a freaking bush. So that's why I've been wearing a hat in all the videos lately. I really need a haircut. Questions, guys? You guys got some questions? Everybody just tuning in to see if they won the shirt, probably. That's okay too. I actually made the comment earlier. Somebody was talking about the live feed, and I was like, "So here's what's funny. I do these live feeds so I can give you answers to your questions verbally, because it takes way less time, and I can explain things in more detail when you ask me a question. But whenever I do the live feeds, everybody's just quiet. Nobody says anything. But then I guarantee you tomorrow, my email will be blown up, my messenger will be blown up, and there'll be all kinds of comments on my videos asking questions. It happens every damn time. Every time. Old school budget racing, X pipe in front of the engine, then back out the fenders. Yeah, that's what we were talking about doing. But the X pipe that I have, the bends would be too tight. So I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, I mean, I could do it, but literally I would have to freaking right angle the exhaust, then right angle it again, which is just stupid. I mean, at that point, it's just creating a restriction. So, wow, everybody is being really quiet. I'm going to sit here and drink my beer, wait for about 4 or 5 more people to come on, and we'll go ahead and do the drawing for the shirt. Nobody wants to talk tonight. JT Marshall, I'll ask a question. What size fuel cell do you recommend for the street? I was thinking 17 to 20 gallon. Who is Zane? Dude, I'm going to have to turn my phone off. Zane's blowing me up on my phone over here while I'm doing a live feed. For street, I mean, that just depends on how far you want to drive it, really. I mean, I know most like classes that, you know, are streetcar classes. I think they specify you have to have at least a 10-gallon tank to be considered a streetcar. So anything over 10 gallons, if that's what you're shooting for, you know, if you're wanting to be able to run it in, you know, like a streetcar type class or whatever. Any new projects coming up? Well, man, I pretty much got my hands full. You know, we got the China Vet out there, which I still have not had time to mess with the transmission, but apparently I have no second gear at all now. So, like, I can drive it, but it revs first gear out and then skips second and goes straight to third. I got to figure that out. We've got the DR Nova. We are actually going to be doing some cool stuff with it soon. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, we're putting nitrous on the DR Nova for sure. Ray has already said he wants to do it. So that's going to be coming up in a video. We're going to be putting nitrous on it, taking it to the track. And the only thing that makes me sad about that is that the DR Nova is going to probably hit sixes before the China Vet does. So, because the DR Nova NA is already a half a second faster than the China Vet, and the China Vet was, I mean, it was 6 seconds capable the last time we took it. I just couldn't get it to hook. But, you know, it ran like a 719 on the 175 shot, but actually it was a 719 on about a 130 or 140 shot because I was only running about 700 pounds of bottle pressure. The DR Nova, I'm 100% sure it's going to go in the sixes, maybe with just a 100 shot. With a 125 or a 150 shot, it's definitely in the sixes. It's going to be well into the sixes. So we got that coming up. I don't have any new project vehicles per se because, I mean, hell, we've already got 3 project vehicles out here that we've been working on. I know I've devoted, like, for the last 4 or 5 months, all you've seen is Chaos Theory. You hadn't seen any of the other project cars, but that's going to change soon because, like I said, Ray's got stuff he's wanting to do to the DR Nova. So you're going to be seeing more of it soon. Once we get Chaos Theory here mobile, then I'll be bringing the China Vet in here and we're going to investigate what's going on with the transmission. See if it's something I can fix easy or if we're going to have to pull the trans. If I have to pull the trans, guys, I'm just telling you, it's going to get a built RPM transmission. Guys, I said from the very beginning of the Chaos Theory build, I said the 1 weak link, the one thing that I thought was going to screw the whole thing up was going to be that 4L60 transmission, and well, I called it. That's all I can say. You know, we've been throwing nitrous at that damn thing for over a year now, and that 4L60 finally just said, fuck you, and that's what happened. Brett Hall, what sort of horsepower are you hoping for from Chaos Theory with the current setup? Honestly, I don't know, man. Like, I never. See, here's the thing, guys. If you're new to the channel, you may not realize this, but I don't think in terms of horsepower. I think in terms of track times. Because the fact of the matter is, you can have a dyno queen car that makes 1,000 horsepower and goes to the track and runs a fucking 12-second quarter mile. The shit happens, you know. But you can have the same car that makes 600 horsepower and you take it to the track and it's running freaking, you know, low tens. So, you know, I don't really think in terms of horsepower. I think in terms of track times. On this setup with this bone stock 5.3 and just throwing a bunch of nitrous at it, I would like to see low sixes, you know, something like that in the 8th mile. Maybe after we cam, if it survives what I'm going to throw at it, we'll probably throw a cam in it and push it a little harder. I mean, eventually, you know, end game for this car is bare minimum 4s. I mean, that's way down the road. That's going to be a whole different engine, whole different setup. But yeah, one day I plan to have this thing running, you know, in the 4s in the 8th mile. But we'll see. We're a long way away from that goal. It's going to be my summer daily driver. Well, then you might want to go with at least a 15-gallon tank. I mean, if it's going to be a true daily driver, then I'm not sure why you're putting a fuel cell in it anyway. I don't know. That just seems like an awful lot for something that you really wanted to daily drive. I mean, if it's just going to be like a weekend car, street car, you know, I could see it. But let's see, old school. It would defeat the purpose. I'm not sure. It may be. Oh yeah, it would defeat the purpose. I know what you're talking about. You're still talking about the X pipe. Like I said, guys, there's a little bit of a delay between when you type and when I see it. So, Rough Way, did you get that body shop to fix the Camaro? No, we've not taken. So here's what I decided to do. He's talking about my wife's Camaro, guys. My wife had a little accident in her Camaro over a year ago, and it crushed the quarter panel. And we took it to a body shop, and I told them I wanted a new quarter welded in. I didn't want a cake full of Bondo. and insurance was only paying to take it full of Bondo, so that's what they did. So a couple months after they fixed it, the Bondo started cracking. So we had to take it back. They redid it and repainted it again. And now here we are about a year and a half later, and the Bondo's cracking again. So we're supposed to have a lifetime warranty on the paint and body work, but the problem is that shop has changed names now. So I'm not sure if they're going to honor that lifetime warranty, but currently there's 2 pretty good cracks forming in the Bondo on my wife's 2011 Camaro. So I'm not very happy about that. To be honest, I decided to wait until it got worse and make them redo the whole repair, because I figure if we keep taking it back with little cracks, they're just going to keep spot doing it. But if I wait till a big hunk of Bondo falls out the side of the car, then at that point they're just going to have to redo the whole damn job. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I'm literally waiting for a big hunk of the side of my wife's car to fall off. Robert, I do have a question that I've been pondering. Are you going to be spraying fuel with the nitrous? Yes, it's a wet kit. I actually talked about that a couple videos ago because Matt from Sloppy Mechanics was recommending, he was like, why don't you just spray a dry shot? And I was like, because I don't think I have enough injector to cover a dry shot. Old School Racing, why do you call it the China Vet? You'll have to go back and watch the videos and see. There's a whole playlist for the China Vet, brother. Everything we've done to it. And yeah, every project on this channel has its own playlist. We call it the China Vet basically because most of the parts I used on it were made in China. So, and there was a goal to go so fast for a certain amount of money, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it's all covered in the videos in that playlist. JT Marshall, any experience with the Hooker LS manifolds? Thinking about trying them on the S10. No, I've never used them. They look like a solid piece, but they also look like they run the front out in just a really weird spot. I think it comes out underneath the like where your heater core lines come out of the water pump. The Hooker manifold like swoops under that, and then it's got like a V-band flange, and you build off that. But that, I don't know, it seems like it comes off far forward. I know Lowbuck LS, he's on here. What's up, brother? Okay, he's answering you good, because I was just about to say, I know Lowbuck LS had a set of them, so hopefully he's answering your questions there. Dave K, thumbs up. Old School Budget Racing, what's the Nova run on motor? 7.5? No, man, it ran 8 flats. With a little tuning, it'd probably be in the 7s, no problem. We were having some issues with underhood heat and stuff like that the last time we ran it. We've remedied all that, but we hadn't taken it back to the track yet. But it's not like a big build or anything. It's basically a stock 6.0 with just a small cam in it, real small actually. And the goal for that Nova, if you've watched all the Nova videos, was the goal was like to have just a 12-second true daily driver, and that's what it is. You can drive that thing to California and it's perfectly reliable, gets over 20 miles to the gallon. It's a good running car. It outruns the China Vet on the motor, I can tell you that much. I jumped on Ray on the highway a while back. I was in the China Vet and he was in the Nova. I wasn't spraying, of course, but man, he walked my ass in that Nova, which I would have been mad about, except I built that Nova, so I was actually pretty proud at that particular time. Lima's Bean Hut, is it worth the extra cost to get a standalone system over the stock ECU and wiring harness for swaps? That is a loaded question, and I had planned on doing a video on this. It all depends on what you're wanting out of the setup. If you're going to build your own harness, and you've got a connection on tuning, and you already own a wideband, then you're better off with the stock PCM. If none of those three things are true, then the Holly, like the Holly Terminator X, is actually going to save you money and headache. Because I mean, people look at it, they think they're saving money by using a stock PCM, and you know, until Holly came out with that Terminator X, you were, but and you still are if you're going to do everything yourself. Like me, you know, I can tune myself. I can build my own harnesses, you know, all that. I already own several wide bands. So to me, it's still way, 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 way cheaper to go with the stock PCM. But I hate the stock PCMs. I mean, I've been using them for how many years, guys? I don't know. But with the Terminator X, it just makes everything so much easier. Everything's plug and play. And when you start adding up the cost, like if you're going to buy a harness, even if you buy one of those cheap China harnesses, you're looking at $300. Then if you're gonna pay someone to tune your car, that's another, you know, $500 probably. If you want to tune it yourself, then you got to buy HP tuners and credits. So again, that's still around $400 or $500. Then you've got to buy a wideband to be able to tune it. That's another $200. You're already to the cost of the Holly, and the stock PCM doesn't have anywhere near the features that a Holly does. So I said a while back in a video, I will never do another swap with a stock PCM. I just won't. Especially if you're going to be doing boost or nitrous. You know, if you use a stock PCM, you've got to buy all this additional stuff. You know, you're going to have to buy a boost controller. You're going to have, or for nitrous, a progressive controller. Hell, a good progressive controller is $400 or $500. That's for a really good one. You know, they've got cheap ones for like $140, but they don't do much. Holly does all that. It's all built in. Like, if you want to do boost control on a Holly, all you got to do is spend $100 for, you know, like a 3-port solenoid, you know, for the boost control. And the tuning options by Boost are just endless with the Holly. You know, it's, I don't know, man. And like I said, I was planning on getting more organized and doing a video on that actually, and I haven't done it yet. But my opinion is, if you're gonna swap in a bone stock engine, and you're a do-it-yourself kind of guy, the stock PCM is going to be your cheapest route. If you're not a do-it-yourself guy and you're planning on buying everything, you're better off with the Holly. If you're planning on modifying that engine and needing custom tuning or anything, you're better off with the Holly. From a financial standpoint, in the long run, and you know, from a learning to tune perspective. Like, guys, I'm new to the Holly software, and you guys saw in the startup video, I mean, I didn't use a Terminator. I'm using an HP, so I don't have the startup wizard like the Terminator does, where you just punch numbers into a screen and the car magically runs. I literally had to make my tune from scratch with the Holly V5 software, and, you know, once I got my wiring issue fixed, you know, I went over that in the startup video. Once I got that fixed, this thing fired right up. I mean, so if I figured it out that quick, you know, it's simple. The Holly stuff is way more simple. HP tuners is very confusing for somebody who's just starting out. I'm just going to tell you that. It's not like a handheld, guys. I mean, you have to put a lot of time and effort into learning how to use it. I've been using it for years, and I still don't know half of what I'm doing. What's your preference on plumbing in a catch can? Just I've got a video on that, man. Go to the LS Swap Tips and Tricks playlist, and I actually have a video on that. Let's see. Oh, well, not on a catch can, but on, dude, if you're running a catch can, just use a filtered catch can, vent both breathers to it, and call it a day. I mean, that's my theory on that. Otherwise, if you want a closed system, which I tried on Steppenwolf, and I just had issue after issue, but like I said, I got a video on that, so you can go watch that video, and it explains everything with well, with video on a turbocharged engine. I explained how I routed everything. Casper Go, it could be persuaded to fall apart sooner. Yeah. Well, I'm actually drive my service truck Monday through Friday, and I only use my cars sometimes after work or on the weekend, so I guess daily was a lie. I'm the same way, man. I drive my service vehicle all week long. I barely ever drive. Tracy drives all the cars. Like, until the transmission started acting up, she was driving the China Vet to work several times a week. And then she's got her Camaro and the Avalanche. I make her rotate out vehicles because I'm always in my service vehicle, and I want to keep the fluids going in all of them. So she drives a different car to work every day. Even when we had Steppenwolf, our turbocharged C10, she drove it to work several times. JT Marshall. Okay, he's thanking Low Buck. Yeah, Low Buck LS. Thanks for helping JT out there. T. Howland, what gear are you going to run? It's got a 323 gear in it. It's geared for top end, definitely. Which doesn't make sense with the 8th mile that I normally run on, but I do want to run this car in the quarter mile too. And even when I get a 9-inch put in it, I'm going to go with a 325 gear because I'm going to gear it to probably do about 170 to 180-ish in the quarter mile because that's eventually my goal in the long run. I'm a huge Nova guy. I have had almost as many Novas as I have Camaros. Yeah, I love Novas too, man. They're light. I mean, it was pretty much the lightest Chevy car you could get back in the day. I prefer to spend money and avoid headaches. That Terminator X was the right piece for zero headaches. Yeah, I agree. JT Marshall. Oh, and it had a 5-gallon fuel cell in the bed when I bought it. I don't think I could make it to the gas station on it. Probably not, man. Sounds like he was just planning on running a quarter mile at a time or something. Mr. Black, the Holley computers are amazing, especially for cars that were pre-PSN or PCM or pre-LS PCM. Yep. Lima Beans, awesome, thanks. Jason Hoyt, I'm working on a 91 Z28 Camaro, and I've been watching the whole build on your Camaro, our cars, and LS1. Hell yeah, man. I love the 91 and 92 Z28s. That was my favorite. If I could have found a deal on a 91 or 92, this 90 has the same interior and everything as a 91 or 92. But it's got the exterior ground effects and stuff of an 89 or back. But I just prefer the little vent ground effects and stuff on the 91 and 92s. My Dana 60 I bought for the S10 has 355s, and I'd like at least 373s though. I made it to a live feed. Yes, William made it to a live feed. Wait, are you driving? William's a truck driver, guys, so he made it to a live. He usually misses the live feed and then he goes back and listens to him while he's driving. T. Howland, you're going to use the Ford 9-inch. Yes, sir. Eventually, we'll probably get one from. Well, I'm working on picking up more sponsors right now, so we'll see. I'm not going to mention any names, but yes, I plan to put a Ford 9-inch in this car eventually. That 323 gear is perfect for when you go turbo. I will go that after my nitrous motors. Yeah, it's perfect for. It'll be perfect for the turbo in the quarter mile for what I'm wanting to run. Guys, give me just a second. I gotta let these dogs outside. He's pacing. Come on, Chester. Sorry about that, guys. When he starts pacing, I know there's about to be a lake in here. We got 30 people now. We're going to do the drawing for the t-shirt here in just a second. I'm pretty sure the Novas were the fastest of all the Yenko cars because they're the lightest. Yeah, see, a lot of people don't realize, guys, but like Ray's Nova actually weighs less than the China Vet. So the China Vet weighs almost 3,200 pounds, Ray's Nova is just like 3,100 and some change. So yeah, they're really light cars. I mean, you got to think the Nova was Chevrolet's first compact car. That's what it was marketed as, was a compact car. I know most people, when you say compact nowadays, you think of like a Honda Civic or something like that. But the Nova was Chevy's Honda Civic, you know, in the 60s and 70s. Let's see here. What's up? Hope all is well. I made it to the live feed. Glad to have you here, brother. What is about the third gen Camaros that has made you own so many? Brett, honestly, I don't know, man. I remember when I was 5 years old, I remember seeing, seeing the pace car, the Indianapolis 500. I remember my stepdad, it wasn't my stepdad at the time, it was somebody else, but that was before my stepdad. But I remember, watching the race on TV. I was like 5 or 6 years old and seeing that Camaro, just thinking, man, and I fell in love with it right then. So as soon as I got old enough to buy my first car, which I owned several cars before I was old enough to drive, guys, because I always had summer jobs and I was trading around cars and stuff a lot before I was even old enough to drive them. But once I was old enough to drive, my first car was an Oldsmobile Omega, and I ended up totaling that car. And after that, I bought a 1982 Z28, and it was actually a pace car edition that, like a dumbass, the previous owner had, I guess he wrecked it or something, and he had the car painted white. But it was an actual 82 pace car edition that had been painted white, and I was so pissed off when I found out it was a pace car. I was like, why would he do this? But I don't know, man. I've just always liked them. The 82 through 84, I kind of liked the shorter ground effects and the hard lines and the ground effects and stuff. The IROCs I was just in love with. That's mainly what I've owned, has been IROC Z's. This car, I've said it before, this is actually the only V6 third gen I've ever owned. All the rest of them were either Z28s or IROC Z's, or I had an 87 Trans Am GTA for a while. But this is the first V6 car I've ever bought. And the only reason I bought a V6 car is because I knew that, the stock engine was coming out. So there was no point in paying a premium for a V8 car when, for all intents and purposes, it was going to be the same car when I was done. All right. Shout out from Knoxville. Old school. I got a 9-inch out of an old late 60s big body Ford. We cut the brackets off the factory. Yeah, and I've actually got a 9-inch. Ray gave me a 9-inch, but I've got to go check it out. It's over at his house. I think it was out of a Lincoln or something. But he gave me that 9-inch, and it's just laying in one of his barns out next to his house. I was going to go over there because, I'm not going to cut it up and because I'm not a fabricator. I'm not going to cut it up and make it fit the car. But if the center section has a limited slip and has the gearing that I want, what I may do is just order, the prefab 9-inch to go in this car and the right size axles, and just get the center section out of the one that Ray gave me over at his house to use in it. Let's see, making money. So you are driving then, William? I had an 82 Z28 pace car before. Loved that car. Yeah, mine, I actually went through 3 engines. It had a 305 in it. And keep in mind, guys, this is when I was 16. I was just learning really about cars and how to work on them. The 305 that came in it was having an issue where it was backfiring out the carburetor and stuff. And it just kept getting worse and worse. I didn't know what was wrong with it. So we pulled that engine out. We put a, this car had already been turbo 350 swapped. So I pulled that engine out. I put a 400 small block in it out of a 72 Impala or something. I put the 400 small block in it. I blew that engine up. Then I bought a 350, and this was the first engine that I ever built. I did a rebuild on that 350, and we put a big cam and shit like that in it, and we dropped that engine in it, and I didn't break it in properly. Like, I literally, the guy's house that we rebuilt the engine at, I literally left his house sideways, fucking redlining that fucking engine, like right after first startup, guys. So that engine didn't last long, and I ended up throwing a rod through the block on that 350 not long after that. And then I ended up putting the original 305 back in it because I had figured out what happened was it had broke a push rod. That's what was backfiring out the carburetor. So I replaced the push rod, and what I did not know is it had also wiped the cam lobe from the lifter bouncing up and down on it after the push rod broke. So it was still running like shit, and that was about the time I had my oldest daughter. You know, I had my oldest daughter came about when I was 17, guys. She was born right after I turned 18. So at that point, I didn't have money to work on the car anymore, and I sold the whole car for $600. And I had put all new interior and everything in that car during the time I owned it, so I was really upset about that. But yeah, that was my first Camaro. Went through 3 freaking engines in like less than 2 years. All right, nobody's talking. I'm guessing everybody just wants me to do the t-shirt drawing, so we're going to do that now. And I am going to pull the camera around so you guys can see it. We won't make too big a deal about it, but so what I'm going to do, let's see, you guys can see that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up a new window here, and I got to remember how to do this. We're going to go to our drawing video. Let's see, we'll go to my channel. And I know most of you are just here for this anyway. So we'll go to videos. And I'm on the wrong dang thing. Let's try this again, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't done this in a while. I do most of my YouTube navigation through my phone. Here we go. Video manager. That's where we need to go. Go to video manager. Come on up. Let's see. We'll go to the giveaway video, which is, this was it, right? Yep. That's the one with all the freaking comments. Let's see here. How do I do this? Options. Maybe? No. Let's just click on it. I've got to find this tool, guys. I have not done a giveaway since YouTube changed its interface. So I got to figure out how to do it. I think I click here. I'll find it in just a second, guys. If I have to, I'll draw numbers out of a hat. Huh. Okay, guys, so TubeBuddy has a program that lets you pick a random comment. And that's the program that we always use whenever I do these giveaways. But I'm not sure how to get to it now. Because like I said, YouTube has changed the interface. So we might have to find an alternate means of doing this here in just a second. I'll tell you what. Let's see here. Metadata, blah, blah, blah. Demonetization check. That's not it. Damn, guys, I hope this tool's still available. Making it hard on a guy. Oh, wait. I think I saw where we need to be. I think I just saw it. Let me back up here. Right here. There we go. There we go. Pick a winner. There it is. I found it, guys. All right. From all comments. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Some of you may have noticed I've got some spam channels that have been spamming my comment section with, can we be friends, or some stupid shit. So I'm just going to tell you right now, if it picks that channel, we're not giving them a shirt. We'll redo this because I'm not giving the shirt away to a spammer that doesn't, watch my content anyway. So here we go, guys. Quick and easy. We're going to pick a winner. George Dixon, and his comment was, "That's pretty smart and a good use of space." All right, George Dixon, you have won our t-shirt. I'm actually pretty happy about this because George is a longtime subscriber to the channel. So what we're going to do is hopefully go to his comment. Let's see. Well, that didn't work. Well, let's go find this comment. All right. George Dixon. So we're going to go back here. We're going to click on this video. Click on it again. We're going to scroll down until we find that comment, guys. But George Dixon is our winner. Let's scroll down and find his comment on that video. Where you at, George? Jorge, or yeah. Is it Jorge? Is that Spanish for George? Let's see here. George Dixon, where you at? You better be here because it picked you. You're here somewhere. Oh, there it was. Well, no, that's not the right comment, but that's... Was he on here? Maybe that was it. There was a lot of comments on that video, guys. And I'm going to be honest, I think a lot of them are people who don't even watch the channel. They just search for giveaway videos. Yeah, guys, there are people on here that's all they do is search for giveaway videos and enter giveaway contests. And I really hate it when people like that win, because when I do a giveaway, it's not to bring in subscribers. It's actually to to say thank you to you guys for being subscribers and for standing by the channel. So, that's why I don't tell you to share the giveaway videos or anything like that, because I always want it to go to somebody who, watches the channel, supports the channel. Well, I'm having trouble finding that comment, but anyway, we saw his other comment here. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time finding it, but I'm putting this in here. I'm going to put you guys back up here so you can see me. Put you back up here, and we are going to reply to George Dixon and say, "You're the winner." I don't know if he's on the live feed. I hadn't looked yet. Send me your address and shirt size to the Bad Luck Garage at gmail.com. All right. So there we go. We'll wait to hear from George now. We got our winner. Let's see how many people leave. Okay. Now let's get back to where we were at here. We seem to have some activity going on. My first car was a 77 Camaro street racing, and 4 motors later sold it and bought an 85 Mustang GT. I actually had an 87 Mustang GT, believe it or not, guys. That car, I sunk so much money into that car in such a short period of time. It was constantly breaking. Now, I dogged the piss out of it, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. But, like, every weekend I was racing, and every freaking week after the weekend, I was buying parts for it because it was broke. Thanks for the shirt. Wait, is Phase 2? Is that George Dixon? Phase 2? Are you George? Why are you under Phase 2? That's weird. Unless he's just got 2 Facebook or 2 YouTube channels. That's possible too. Dyersville, I'm not. I didn't know you were doing a giveaway. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it was a couple videos ago, brother. JT Marshall, my Bad Luck Garage sticker is lasting amazingly on my skidder. It's seen rain, snow, shine, sticks. But yeah, man, those are good freaking decals that I was selling. I need to order some more of them. Of course, I haven't had anybody asking for one in a while, but I went through 50 of them pretty damn fast. And they're yeah, because they're still, you know, the first one I got, I put on the China Vet, I think. Yeah. And it still looks brand new, man. It's been out there, and the China Vet don't see the garage, guys. I mean, I leave that car out in the weather, the rain, snow, sun beating down, and those Bad Luck Garage decals held up really good. I'm here for rev limiters and Boost Creek. You're gonna have to wait a little bit on that. I had no idea you had a giveaway. I just love the channel. Yeah, man, we did a giveaway about. So here's the thing. Like I said in the beginning of this live feed, guys, a lot of you are used to me just putting out like one video a week, and I've put out 5 videos in the last 7 days. So some of you guys might not realize that you've missed a shit ton of information over the last week. But yeah, I got a hair up my ass, and I just started pumping out videos all week. So there's been, since last Saturday, I believe, I put out 5 videos in a row. And one of them 2 videos ago was the giveaway video. And we did the giveaway because I had my first video that hit 100 likes in less than 24 hours. And I was like, wow, because it's just, that was a hurdle I was trying to get over. I mean, I've got, like, you guys see, I got 2 thumbs down. I got a couple trolls in here, but that's fine, because I'll let you in on a little secret, guys. YouTube looks at thumbs downs and thumbs ups the same way. They're interaction points. So even if somebody clicks a thumbs down on your video, it actually helps boost the video ratings. It don't hurt it. It counts as an interaction. So it's not a negative thing. That's why I laugh when I see the thumbs downs. I'm like, dude's trying to be a dick, and he actually just helped me and didn't know it. Let's see. Not here for a shirt. If you are here just for a shirt, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm here just for a shirt. Yeah, guys. And if you remember the video where I announced LSX Innovations is the new sponsor for the channel, and he actually sent shirts. There was a misunderstanding, and the shirts he sent were too small for me. So I just happened to come home today, and I had a 2X LSX Innovation shirt in my mailbox. I was like, hell yeah, man. So he sent me another shirt that fit, and my daughter, now everybody in the family's got an LSX Innovation shirt, because my daughter, my youngest daughter, Haley, she took one of the larges, and she's wearing it kind of like a night shirt. And of course, Uncle Ray got one, you know, because he's part of the channel too. So anyway, great info on this channel. I appreciate it, Dave. I know here lately I've been doing a lot more just like, I don't want to call them vlog style videos, but I haven't really been doing a lot of step-by-step like how-to stuff. But even when I'm doing like the vlog type stuff, I try to put some useful information in there. Hell, I'll buy every shirt, or I'll buy everyone a shirt. Who are you, man? Do I know you? Dyersville? I'm not even sure how to pronounce that. Mike Ferguson, love the channel. Love having you, Mike. John 613, Hammer and Wrench Builds. What? Oh yeah, here you go, guys. There's my youngest daughter, Haley, and she's got on the LSX Innovation shirt. No, I'm good. Thank you, honey. Let's see here. Oh, I'm missing some stuff, guys. You need to bring some swag to the track. Yeah. Okay. See, here's the thing, guys. I want to talk about like my swag. Okay. The thing with the Bad Luck Garage apparel, and you see it like in the bottom of the videos or whatever where you can order it. I never really wanted to make Bad Luck Garage shirts and hoodies and stuff to sell. So what happened was, in the beginning, I made a couple shirts just to wear in my videos. I had no intention of ever selling shirts. I don't push. You'll notice if you watch my videos, I maybe mention my Bad Luck Garage shirts maybe once every 30 videos. Like I'm not one of those channels that's like every video like buy my shit. The only reason I have them available to buy is for a long time people kept asking for it. They saw me wearing the shirts and they were like, hey man, can I buy one? Can I buy one? So finally, I decided to just set up a Teespring account. I went on there, I designed some shirts that honestly were way nicer than what I was originally wearing. You know, they're multicolored. You guys have seen me wear it. And I put them up for sale. And, you know, I sell a few a week, something like that. But I can't bring them to the track because I don't have any. Like the honest truth is I have the only shirts, Bad Luck Garage shirts I have are the ones you see me wearing, because when I order them, I have to pay full price for them too. I get a couple dollars back in profit off each one that's bought. So if you buy like the bottom of the line shirt I have and it just has the Bad Luck Garage logo and nothing on the back, it's like $16.99. When you buy that shirt, I make like $4 in profit off that shirt. Teespring is a very expensive company to sell shirts through, but again, I'm not trying to make money off of them. That was never my intention. I was just trying to put out what you guys were asking for, if that makes sense. So from a logistical standpoint, I don't have the time to have them made local and ship them out myself. Every time somebody orders one, I have to package it, do the postage, all that, go drop it off the post office. So it just, you know, it made more sense for me to just go through a company like Teespring, let them handle all that, and yeah. So that's why I don't have them at the track, man, because I do not have an inventory. They're literally made to order. When you guys order a shirt, sometimes it takes 2 weeks to get to you. It depends on where they're at on their, you know, cycle to make shirts when you order it. Like this shirt that I'm giving away right now, I will not personally place that in a mailbox because I don't have it. What I'm going to do is when this live feed's over, or whenever George sends me his information, I'm going to go to Teespring, I'm going to order a shirt, put his name and address on it, and they're going to ship it to him after they make it. That's how that works. So, I mean, I'd love to just have boxes and set up a tent like some people do at the track, but it's just, I don't sell enough of them for it to be worth it for me to buy a bunch of inventory, is basically it. Everybody's congratulating George. That's awesome. Oh, there's Phil Betthauser. Congratulations, George. Yeah, guys, Phil Betthauser, Josh Watson, and Zane, without those three people, this car wouldn't even be running right now. I just want to say that right now. They have sent me so much stuff for this car, and a lot of it isn't, you know, a lot of it's just small stuff that I had to have, but because they sent it, I didn't have to spend money on it. Like, I feel like I need to get a bumper sticker that says sponsored by, sponsored by Josh, Phil, and Zane to put on the car or something. And I really appreciate it, guys. Like, you guys made this happen a lot faster. If it wasn't for those three people, I would still be probably saving money to buy parts like, you know, like Josh donated the Holly HP, so I would still be saving money to buy a Terminator X setup right now if it wasn't for Josh. The intake, the throttle, the first throttle bar, a bunch of shit came from Phil. And then Zane, you know, he came in with a ported throttle body and some brackets, and like those three guys just loaded me up. I want to say that. I just want to make sure you guys know how much I appreciate that, because you guys moved this project along way faster than I thought it was going to move along. Yeah, here's everybody congratulating George. That's awesome, guys. Dyersville, think I'll go by your house with my tires on fire. Turbo LSU Fox. I think it's supposed to be LSX Fox. You can go ahead, man. Everybody else does. I'm not old enough for a first car, but my dad's first car was an '87 Chevy Capri, old big body. Phil Betthauser. My first car was a '65 Buick Skylark, two-door hatch, I think is what that's supposed to say. That's a cool first car. Um, Phil says, you've been on fire. Yeah, man, I've been pumping the videos out. I mean, they're not getting like a shit ton of views or anything, but they're doing well enough. Let's see here. Wait. I don't enter your giveaways anymore. I don't watch your videos as religiously as I used to. And for that, I know I'm not worthy. Yeah, you're worthy, man. Look, it's like this, guys. This channel is like 3.5 years old. Okay, in that 3.5 years, we have built 4 project vehicles on this channel, and I realize that everybody is not interested in every car I'm building, and even within that, everybody is not interested in every little thing I'm doing to those cars. So I don't expect somebody, like if you came here for Project Steppenwolf, way back in the beginning, I don't expect you to be interested in the China Vet project. I would hope that you would be, just because it's another, hot rod, another endeavor to go fast. But I understand if you're not. And if you came here for the China Vet, I could understand why you wouldn't be interested in the DR Nova. And, everybody's got their own thing, guys. And honestly, that's why I wanted to bring, more of a diversity in cars to the channel. Because, like, my whole thing is, and this is with the Bad Luck Garage group page on Facebook, like, my whole thing was I wanted to kind of bring all you guys together and you guys all help each other out. So, if you go to the Bad Luck Garage group page, you got Camaro guys, you got Corvette guys now, you got Nova guys, you got C10 guys. Hell, we've even got some Mustang guys on there, and that's what it's all about, man. Like, I'm a diehard Chevy guy. And I pick on Fords, I pick on Dodge, but I like Fords, I like Dodge too. I like Mustangs, guys. I'm a Camaro fanatic, so I'm obligated to act like I hate Mustangs. But man, there's some Mustangs out there that I really like, just to be honest with you. And it's the same thing like with Dodge, the newer Challengers, especially like the Hellcats and the Demons. Man, I would love, if you're local to me and you have a Demon, I want to ride in that son of a bitch, and I want to do a video. I'm just going to put that out there. If you're local to me and you've got a Demon, I'd love to take a ride in it. Something else here lately I've been looking into is like electric cars. I don't think I'll ever own one unless I'm forced to, but the concept to me is kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I like everything, guys. If it's fast, I like it. Hell, even if it's not fast, sometimes I like it. Everyone has too much time to post videos now. Yeah, and that was kind of it, Mason. So what happened? Normally, I don't have a lot of time to work on stuff, guys. That's why I want to do like one video a week. My job is very demanding as far as the hours that I work. So sometimes I'm lucky to fit one video a weekend. It's hard for me to put that together. I come out here just about every night and tinker for a half hour or so on whatever car's in the garage at the time. But it's not worthy of making a video, so I usually don't. But since this whole virus thing started, a lot of the accounts I do are closed or they're postponing service, trying to save money. So I've been getting home, a lot earlier throughout all that. And that's why I just went through like that period where I was just pumping videos out, because I was getting a lot done on the car. But it's starting to starting to speed up again at work now, guys. So unless something gives, it's going to slow me back down. But I'm going to try to maintain at least 1 to 2 videos a week. I'm going to do my best, even if they're just vlog style videos. Let's see here. I'm not George. I was just overconfident on winning. Okay. I was wondering. I thought maybe George had 2 profiles or something. Kyle Bennett, what's up, Robert? Been enjoying all the videos. Glad to have you, Kyle. Kyle's been around for a while. I recognize your name. Let's see, Mr. John. I have an 83 Firebird. I watched your battery relocation video and your forward headers video also. Also the budget oil pan video. How is the mini spool holding up? Well, we've not really beaten on it at all. I'm sure the mini spool will hold up a lot better than any other part in this this 10-bolt rear end. We'll find out soon, man, because once I take it to the track and start spraying it, we're going to find the weak points pretty damn fast. And I'm guessing it's going to be a toss-up between between the transmission, because it had a lot of metal in the pan when we put that manual conversion in it. It's going to be a toss-up between the transmission and the rear end. That's what that's what I'm guessing on. One of those is going to go first. I think the engine's going to take the beating. I think the rear end is probably going to be the first thing to go, and the transmission shortly after, or those two could be swapped around. If the rear end goes, we're just screwed until I come up with the money for the 9-inch. If the transmission goes, we'll probably rebuild it and actually put some beefier parts. Right now, guys, if you haven't watched all the videos, the transmission is just a stock rebuilt turbo 350. I don't know. Well, I know when it was rebuilt. It was like 2006 because it was written on the side of it. And we put a full manual shift kit from Fairbanks in it. And that was all. We did all that on video, but it had a lot of freaking clutch material in the pan when we pulled it apart to put that shift kit in it. So I'm a little worried about the transmission too. But we can rebuild the transmission. If the rear end breaks, we're just going to save up and get a 9-inch, or if I have to, if I'm financially able to, I may just order one online and do like a credit thing, and just hope that I make enough money to pay for it. It's pronounced Dealsville. Ah, okay. Old School Budget Racing. I want a shirt and a sticker. The shirts are available. Like if you scroll up, they're in the bottom of all my videos. There's a link to my website with my t-shirts and everything in it. The decals, I actually sell those myself because the ones that Teespring makes are not as good a quality as the ones that I was buying from Sticker Mule. They're really heavy duty. That's what we were talking about earlier, man. We've got the people who bought my original batch of decals, put them on their cars, and they still look brand new. But I need to order some more of those, man. That was like one of them things where you email me and I send you a PayPal link. I was selling the 3-inch decals for $3, the 5-inch decals for $5, but I'm out of them currently. So I'll mention in a video when I get a resupply on the stickers though. Let's see here. You taking any tuning questions tonight? As long as they're not hard ones. I'm a little out of practice if it's HP tuners, but I'll give it a shot. And again, guys, I'm not a professional tuner. I'm just, I tune my own stuff. I've tuned some stuff for friends, but I'm by no means a professional. I know enough to get me in trouble though. Hey man, been here a long time before you turboed your truck. Not here for shirts, just the great videos. I appreciate it, man. Phil Bethauser, just helping a brother out. Yeah, you more than helped me out, Phil. Especially with the Kringle you sent me. That thing was freaking awesome. I'm still talking about that, man. That thing was so good. I'm gonna have to order me another one soon. We've still got the paperwork in there, so we can order another one. Finished converting the old harness. Now you got me shopping the Term X Max. Thanks, I think. Man, if you plan to go with a turbo or nitrous or anything, any kind of power adder, the Terminator's the way to go, man. because it's just going to be like this. But because I've got the HP, because I got HP in this, which the Terminator does pretty much everything the HP will do. But because I got that, I'm going to be able to run progressive control on 2 stages of nitrous. And then later on, when we switch over to turbos, I can do my boost, my boost ramps, everything. I'm not going to go into it. Like all the fueling by boost and everything, it's not like you have to have a separate boost controller, then go back in and change your fueling and stuff. Like it's all in one unit, so it all works together, and it just makes things way easier with power adders, especially. Ted Rails, hot rods are hot rods no matter what the emblem. Just some are easier on the wallet. True story. True freaking story. Mr. Black, I'm just a car guy. Yeah, me too for the most part. That's what I said when I bought the China Vet, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's a Corvette guy." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm a car guy." If you wanted to accuse me of being a model specific guy, it would be I'm a Camaro guy. I've only owned 2 Corvettes in my life, guys, but I've owned, well, including the wife's 2011 out there, I've owned 8 Camaros now. I found the channel because I bought a 2010 Camaro and wanted to know how to replace the rear speakers. 2 years later, I still haven't bothered. It's just an afternoon's work, man. It was kind of a pain in the butt. Like, I will never understand why GM mounted them from the top instead of from the bottom. Because it's that simple. If they would have mounted them from underneath, it would have been a piece of cake. But because they mounted them from the top, you got to disassemble half the interior in that car just to get the rear speakers out. It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. Bow tie till I die. Mr. John, I put a 5.3 in my Firebird. I'm currently running a 700 R4 for now. I think I've seen your videos, Mr. John 613. I'm pretty sure I've seen. Is it a red Firebird? Because I think I've seen your videos, man. Brad McDonald came for the C10 build, but been hooked ever since. Never miss a video. Appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you watching the videos, Brad. That's awesome, man. I know I lost a lot of people when I got rid of Project Steppenwolf. Guys, I had that truck for years before this channel ever existed, and I felt like it was cursed. I really did, because it seemed like nothing I did to that truck would ever work out right. I put an engine in it, rod's knocking 100 miles later. I rebuild the engine, something else is going out. The transmission, oh my God, that was ridiculous. Like, I had the rear end rebuilt. This is before the LS swap. None of this was on the channel. I went and the rear end was whining bad. So I had the rear end rebuilt and had 373 gears and a Detroit True Track limited slip put in it. At that time, the truck had a turbo 375 transmission in it, which, in case you guys don't know, that's a transmission they made for a few years in the mid 70s, and it's a hybrid. It's basically a turbo 400 transmission, case and guts, but it has a different tail housing with the output spline count and everything for a turbo 350. So, the same drive shaft will work in a turbo 375. Basically, you have the beefiness of the 400, but the output shaft and everything is from a turbo 350. That's what a turbo 375 is. So, after having the rear end rebuilt, paying like $1,000 to get my rear end rebuilt and good gears and everything in it, on the way home, it blows the freaking front seal out of the damn transmission. So a bunch of stuff had happened prior to that. Well, I pulled the transmission out. It already had a shift kit in it. I pulled it out. I bought this seal kit. I replaced every seal in that transmission, put it back together, and about that time we had some stuff going on, and the truck sat for a while. We had someone very dear to us pass away, so we had other things we had to attend to for several months. And after that was all over with, I never even put that transmission back in the truck. I was like, screw it, I'm LS swapping it. because during all that time of waiting, I had been researching doing LS swap, and that was my first LS swap, was that truck, and I did it, I guess 2 or 3 years before this channel ever existed. I did that swap, and it's just been like a snowball effect since then. But even with the LS swap in that truck, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Parts that should have fit didn't fit. Stuff that I knew good and well was good kept breaking, and that was, like I said, a couple years after that is when I started this channel, and that's when I came up with the name Bad Luck Garage. Because I was like, if anything can go wrong when I'm working on a car, it always does. So, there you go. There's a brief history of Steppenwolf and of the channel, where the name came from. It's not just a catchy name. I named it that for a reason. And I want to say this, guys. When I first started this channel, I had no intention of it even getting as big as it is now. When I first started this channel, I was part of the 67 through 72 Chevy truck forum on the internet, and I had done a complete what do you call it? Like a step-by-step. When I LS swap Project Steppenwolf, I did a complete like write-up. That's the word I'm looking for, with pictures and everything of the whole process, all the parts I used, everything. And people were asking me questions. And when I first started doing videos, the whole reason I was doing videos was for the people on that group that were asking me questions. I was like, I was getting the same questions asked so many times. I was like, I will just do a video, and whenever somebody asks me that question, I'll just post a link to that video. That's how this channel got started. Like, I had no intention of it getting up to where we're almost 15,000 subscribers. I had no intention of that. Like, my intention was just to help these guys, these other C10 owners that wanted to LS swap their trucks. That's the only reason I started doing videos. So then it just kind of escalated, because I looked at the computer one day and I had 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, holy shit. And I think that was actually when I did my first t-shirt giveaway, was when we hit 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, guys, I never intended this channel to go. I mean, it's not a huge channel by any means. I mean, 15,000 subscribers is not a huge channel. That's still a small channel. But I never intended to get this far. To be honest, I thought I would have maybe a couple hundred subscribers and it would just stop there, with the C10 guys. But, a funny thing happened. At the time I sold Steppenwolf, this channel only had, I think, around 1,000 or 1,500 subscribers. And I figured I was committing suicide. I thought it was going to be suicide to sell that truck. And what I found out happened was, when I sold the truck and I started working on the DR Nova, sure, some people left. But what I found out was, I started picking up way more people than what had originally left. And I still, to this day, I don't understand the logistics behind that. And then when we started, when we bought the Corvette, we started the China Vet project, I started picking up a ton of subscribers. So I think there are very few people that are still here from Steppenwolf that were here when I first started the channel. But honestly, I feel like, as bad as I hate to say it, because I do miss the truck. I do miss it, but I just had enough, But I honestly feel like getting rid of that truck was probably the best thing that happened to this channel. Because when I had the truck, all this channel was the truck constantly breaking over and over and over, and me redoing the same things over and over and over. And I've deleted a lot of those videos now. But since I sold the truck, everything has been forward progress. So I went from a vehicle where I was doing the same procedures in 3 different videos because the shit kept breaking, to now, since then, we've built 3 other cars. Technically, there was a 4th car on the channel, but we won't talk about that because most of the footage of that's gone, and that was John's 54. So we actually had a 5th car on the channel, I should say, but we won't talk about that. He's gone and that car's gone, so I deleted most of that content. there is still some content from Project 54 that was mixed in with some of the Steppenwolf videos. So anyway, let's see here. Not into much of the front drive or all-wheel drive stuff though. I've got respect for the front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive stuff too. I mean, I've been in some fast Hondas and stuff, man, but it's not really something I'm into. No. Somehow entirely by accident, I've driven nothing but Chevys. Well, that's a good accident to happen. Uh-oh, I just skipped ahead a bunch of stuff. Old school budget racing. I've run a mini school in a lot of cars. Best $99 you ever spent. Yeah, if you saw my videos, it was the best $35 I ever spent. Mine was only $35. Links in the video where we installed it. Red Firebird, yes. Yeah, Mr. John, I have. I've seen some of your videos, man. I think you commented a while back, you were talking about how you had drilled your original engine mounts instead of using like adapter plates and stuff. So at that point, I went over there and I watched a bunch of your videos. And I've seen a couple of your videos since then, too. I'm subscribed to your channel, man. Obviously, I don't have time to watch everybody's videos because I barely even got time to make mine. But a lot of you guys who have content on here, I skim through and YouTube stalk you from time to time, just so you know. In your opinion, what's the best stock LS heads for boost on a 6.0? I mean, if you're talking cathedral port on a 6-liter, man, see, that's funny because once you bring boost into it, it don't matter. It really don't matter. I would probably go with like a 243 799. I wouldn't go with an 862 or 706 just because it's just going to push your compression way up. And I mean, it's, you know, this ain't 1985. You can run higher compression and boost, but I mean, just to make it a safe all-around combo, you know, I'd say cathedral port wise, a 243 799 head. Oh, okay. And then Mr. John's asking, yeah. Yeah, and then somebody else said 243 or 799. Yeah, guys, when you get like a 6.0 or bigger and cammed and everything, that's where the 243/799 heads really shine. On smaller displacement engines or really mild 6-liters, you know, your 862 706 heads, they're fine, and they're gonna bump the compression way up too. So the main part of what you're gonna gain from an 862 or 706 head, I think, is because of the compression mainly. But once you start getting into like more cubic inches, like 6-liter or 6.2 or, you know, a stroker or something like that, that's when the 243 799 heads, that's when their superior flow starts kind of overpowering and actually starts mattering. You know, on smaller cubic inch, you're not flowing enough air for the higher compression of the 862 head to be mattering less than the better flow of the 243 head, if that makes sense. But once your engine reaches a stage where it can take advantage of the extra airflow of the 243 head, then that's when the 243 head is better than the 862 head. I hope that makes sense. It made sense in my head, but I'm on like, I don't know how many of these. I think there's number 2, but I haven't eaten today either, so. Which you might find hard to believe with all this gut and chest I'm packing here lately. It may not be a huge channel, but you still have a group of people that have been through it all. Yeah, man. William's been around forever. Here we go, Mr. Black. Got to pay some bills and get some refills. Yep. Dion, what's up, Dion? Are you going to be at the mountain tomorrow? No, Dion, I am not. And I thought about it, but man, I am probably not going to be. The next time you see me at EMR is going to be with this Camaro. And I'm going to try to get my cousin over here tomorrow. And that's what we're going to be working on, is the exhaust for this Camaro. Yeah, guys, my Well, the elbow turbo flanges that I was waiting on before we could kind of mock up the exhaust, they actually finally came in today, 3 weeks after I ordered them. So yeah, I got to get a hold of my cousin Brad, and we're gonna spend tomorrow. Hopefully, he can come over here and we can go ahead and get all the pipes cut, maybe tack everything together for the exhaust, and I'll just let him take it all home once it's tacked together, and he can go home and finish it up with his TIG at his house. And yeah, so that's my plan, man. Mother's Day, I've got to go 80 miles away to see my mom. Tomorrow, I'm really hoping to get a lot done on this Camaro. Guys, I want to take this thing down the street, hopefully by next weekend. So I'm really hoping to get to EMR in, let's see, next weekend. I think I'm on call. I have to work, but then the weekend after that, if everything's together, that might be our debut with this Camaro at EMR. So we're that close, guys. I'm looking at maybe, as long as everything goes according to plan, I'm looking at a time frame of 2 more weeks till this thing is hitting the track. So let's see, shitbox. I have 862s on my 30 over 6.0 with Wisco flat tops. Used them because I had them. They have some port work, pulls hard to about 6,500. It definitely needs more cylinder head. I mean, you know, the 6.0 is kind of the crossover point. You know what I mean? Where the 862s and the 243s are kind of a wash. It all depends on how big your cam and stuff is. But, I mean, if you've got some port work on those 862s, then unless you're talking about going to a set of ported 243s, you're probably not going to gain anything. Because, you know, with port work, guys, that changes everything. Then you got to look at the quality of the port work and things like that. So, you know, if you're asking what's better, a ported 862 or a ported 243, well, that fucking depends on who ported them. I mean, it's, you know, it comes down to that. JT Marshall, I'm sticking a bone stock 5.3 in my S10 so I can drive it while I build a rebuild my LQ9 and install my 799s. Maybe I'll build a stroker. That's what I'm planning for Chaos Theory at some point down the road, guys, is either an all forged 6-liter or an all forged stroker is what will eventually be the in-game engine for this car. You know, I mean, I've said that 100 times, but I know some of you guys are new and didn't watch the plans and goals video for Chaos Theory. Let's see. Nice. See you next time. Yeah, man. I mean, I really need to get up there, but at the same, it's like this, Dion. The more time I spend on this car now, the faster I can get it up there, and then be coming up there like every other weekend or something. You know. So, like right now, I'm not spending any leisure time. Like all my leisure time is working on this because I want to be up there. But I don't just want to go up there and stand. I want to go up there and have a car to run. And before we had the China Vet and I could take it up there and have fun with it. Well, now the transmission's janky on the China Vet. So I got to get one of these 2 cars going so I got something to play with up there, man. I like watching other people race too, but I enjoy doing it myself more. Let's see here. Shitbox, mine is 11-1. Yeah, let's see. Alan Hamilton. I have a 5.3 LS Swap 3rd gen, forged pistons and rods. Never used nitrous before. Is a 200 shot too much? Dude, a 200 shot ain't enough. If you've got an all forged body, shit, I'll spray a 250 shot. You're fixing to see me spray a 250 shot on a completely stock bottom end 5.3 with 300,000+ miles. Yeah, dude, if you've got forged rods and pistons, as long as you're tuning this right, you know, your timing and you've got your fueling right and everything, dude, a 200 shot is not shit. Like that's nothing. I mean, with a forged bottom end, that's like a starting point. That's your low end. Like people say, where should I start at with the nitrous? And on a stock V8, I usually say, just start with like a 75 or 100 shot and work your way up in 25 or 50, 50 shot increments. You're talking about a damn all forged bottom end. Yeah, start at 200. No, I mean, I'd still start low and work your way up. Make sure your tuning's straight and everything. All jokes aside, but yeah, 200 shot. If you got forged rods and pistons, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. Well, as long as your rings are gapped too. Like that's something else too, though, man. Is you need to open up the gap on the rings a little bit. I don't know what you gapped them at when you put it together. 26, 28 thousandths, somewhere in there would be a good gap for 200 to 400 shot. I don't know. Let's see here. Like just as an example, I went to open up the gap on this 5.3. This was all on video again, guys. I pulled all the pistons out and found out that the rings had already pre-gapped themselves to well past the 26 thousandths that I was wanting to gap them at. That I was wanting to gap them at. Like some of them were at 28, one of them was at 30. Just because there's so many miles on this engine, the rings had wore and they'd opened up. I don't know. It's crazy. I honestly, guys, I can't wait to spray down on this freaking bone stock 5.3. Yeah, one of you guys was asking me earlier, what all's done to this. Nothing is done to this 5.3. It's a 300,000 mile 5.3. I tried to open the ring gap, but they were already wider than what I wanted to open them to in the first place. So we threw them back in. The only part I bought for this engine is new rod and main bearings because they were really worn, and new valve cover gaskets. We reused everything. We reused the head bolts. We reused the 300,000 mile head gaskets. I cleaned them, sprayed them with copper seal, put it back together. Like this is a bone fucking stock 300,000 plus mile 5.3 liter, guys, that we're fixing to just give a ton of shit to. Alright. Mine's just stock bottom end. Okay, he's talking to Alan. I was going to ask that. Molly rings. Where's Mrs. BLG hiding at tonight? Dude, she is in there with the kids. Hey, Tracy! They're asking about you! Oh, she's in the house with the kids. I knew you were gonna ask, William. You should be fine if you gap them properly. If your rings are gapped, spray it. Watch your timing. Yeah, man. I've got. I did a whole video on installing nitrous. It's in the LS tips and tricks playlist. It's also in the China Vet playlist. And I go over, like I did a whole nitrous install, and I went over all the logistics and the wiring and timing and all that. And there was a two-part video. So you can go watch that.
What are you yelling about?
Oh, tell your mom they're asking about her. They were asking where she's at.
They're asking about me.
You should be fine. Let's see, where am I at? I have a 300 shot on a progressive waiting to go on my 6.0. Hell yeah. There you go. Alan Hamilton. Can't find a tuner in Houston. Hit me up. You can't find a tuner in Houston? I would think Houston would. I think there'd be a damn tuner on every freaking corner. John pre-gapped themselves. Yeah, my rings got. My 5.3 came pre-gap for boost and or nitrous. Notice I said and. Here's the deal, guys. Like, I'm probably going to leave at least one kit on this thing, even after we go to twin turbos. It's still going to have the nitrous on it. Whether or not I use it, how much of it I use, and what I use it for, that's yet to be determined. And I did that with Steppenwolf too, guys. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we put nitrous on Steppenwolf before we boosted it. But even after it was boosted, that nitrous kit was still on Project Steppenwolf. Like it was, the nozzle was still plumbed and everything. So I mean, I literally could have flipped the switch at any point and sprayed on it after it was turboed. I never did because I never really got all the bugs worked out. And yeah, and that's something else, guys. A lot of you guys have been asking me why, like with this car, as far as the boost and everything, why I'm not doing this or telling me I should do that. And I'm just going to say, I appreciate all the input. I really do. But a lot of you guys who are telling me this really have no experience. And I know this because I've seen some of your channels. But it's like this, guys. I learned a lot. I learned a great deal from all the problems we had with Project Steppenwolf. I learned a lot of stuff. And there are some things that come with inexperience, and there are some things that come with experience. One of the big things that I learned with Project Steppenwolf is when you're dealing with boost, your fuel system is of utmost importance. I mean, every aspect of it, okay? Now, I was running a good fuel pump. I was running the Walbro 450s on Project Steppenwolf and stuff. That wasn't the issue, but the issue was my tank setup, okay? And like I said, you can go back and watch it, but what ended up ultimately killing that engine was fuel washing away from the pump because the fuel tank didn't have high enough baffles to keep the pump submerged if it got down below like a quarter tank. I'm applying those lessons to this car, okay? And when I say applying those lessons, I mean like I'm probably going to do like a, instead of doing a multi-pump in-tank setup, this is something I've been stewing over the last couple of weeks. I'm probably going to go with a surge tank up in front. So we'll just have, a regular old pump, or that probably, that 340 pump I've got laying here from Zane. We'll have that pumping fuel up to the surge tank, and we'll be running like dual Walbro 525s in the surge tank. So that I don't ever have that issue again. Like, I don't even want to chance it, guys. I don't want to chance sucking air and fucking knocking the top out of a piston again. Don't want to do it. A lot of you guys, I've gotten some flack from some of you guys over the last year or so because I'm not using a lot of the cheaper parts that I used to use. And there's a reason for that. Again, it was because I learned a lesson from Steppenwolf. Guys, here's a big thing, okay? Do not cheap out on your fuel pumps. All right? Like, number one, don't cheap out on your fuel pumps. Don't go out and... Now, we're going to be testing... I want to make this perfectly clear. I have that cheap-ass Oasis Amazon 340 pump. We're going to put in here to test. The only reason I'm putting that in here is because I promised Zane I would test that pump and see what it did. And the only reason I'm doing it now is because I have the Holly to save my ass if that pump takes a shit. So if my fuel pressure all of a sudden drops, the Holly, I'm going to have it set up where the Holly just shuts us down. Okay? So that's the only reason I'm doing that. But don't cheap out on your fuel system, guys. If you are planning a serious build, you can save money in so many areas. Don't try to save money on something that is the lifeblood of that engine. You go lean on high boost or go lean on a big shot of nitrous for even a second, it's over, guys. Like, you're done. You're fucking done. Okay? There goes your ring lands. There goes your piston. You're fucking done. Don't go out. If you're doing a serious build, don't go out and buy some cheap-ass Oasis pump or Kempsey pump or whatever other eBay piece of shit pump there is. Get you a good pump, guys. Get you a true Walbro. Don't buy, if you pay $20 for a Walbro on eBay, it's a fake, okay? Just go ahead and pay the money. Get you a good pump. The eBay regulators work great, okay? I'm not even gonna knock on that. The one that we did the review on, and we did a 1 year update. That thing, as far as I know, that's the same pump that's still running in Steppenwolf right now. And yes, Steppenwolf is running under its new owner. Okay, we'll cover that more later on down the road. But yeah, guys, don't cheap out on the stuff that really matters. Okay, get you a good fuel pump. Don't get a shitty, cheap ass fuel pump. That's that's a big thing for me. I see a lot of people recommending, these cheap ass fuel pumps, and I'm like, if you're gonna do it on a stock build, that's fine. If you're not a power adder, that's fine, because when that fuel pump takes a shit on you, guess what's gonna happen? You're just gonna break down on the side of the road. The engine's probably gonna be fine. But if you're boosting or you're bottling, buy a good fucking fuel pump, guys. Even good ones fail too, but there's a lot less chance that it's gonna fail than if you buy some Oasis or Chemzo or whatever the fuck those other ones are. Let's see here. Stock crank, forged rods, pistons, steel top ring, .028 gap. Yeah, that sounds good. Stock bottom end for the win. Stock bottom end for the win. Stock bottom end's fun to a point. I mean, there's a lot of guys that go a long time on stock bottom end, but tuning is absolutely vital, like perfect. That tune has to be perfect if you want that stock bottom end to last under like a lot of boost or whatever. Until the advent of fuel injection nitrous kits, the smallest plate they made was a 125 shot, and it was designed for a bone stock 305 to run safely. Yeah, man, I put 125 shots on freaking 305s all the time back in the day. That was pretty much my starting point on a 305, like on my F bodies and shit. I think I told this story before, but the first nitrous kit I ever installed was actually on a 5.0 Mustang, and I had never touched nitrous before, and it was an 88 Mustang GT, bone stock fucking Mustang GT, and it was one of those like it went between the upper and the lower intakes, like they just come out with it. It was like brand new on the market, and he went out and bought it. It was a friend of mine, and we installed it on his Mustang, and neither one of us knew shit about it. And it had, I don't remember all the levels, but I remember like it went all the way up to a 250 shot. And we didn't know shit about it. And I was like, all right, man, let's start with the 100 shot. And he's like, fuck it, man, put the 250 in. I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. So, yeah. So he put that 250 shot in. We cranked the timing back on that fucking 5.0. And I shit you not, guys, he beat the piss out of that 5.0 Mustang for a full year, man, and sold it, still running perfect, with a 250 shot on it, bottle after bottle after bottle. Like, he'd break rear ends and shit, but that fucking engine, like, it took it, man. And, that's why I give people shit about, like, Ford engines and shit. And I know the big thing is, it's 600 horsepower or whatever, a damn 302 will split in half. Well, I'm telling you guys, that 302 that was in that fucking 88 Mustang GT, it took every bit of that 250 shot. And if he didn't put 100 bottles through that thing in a year, I'll kiss your ass. I mean, because he was like, it seemed like every 3 days he was filling that bottle. And yeah, man, it just took it. I was amazed. And that's also what got me hooked. That's when I was bit by the nitrous bug. Because when I seen him with that Mustang, I mean, he was ripping the heads off every fucking car in the neighborhood, or in the fucking county. There wasn't nothing touching him, Yeah, that was fun times. But ever since then, man, I was all about the nitrous after that. That's when I was like 18 years old, guys. That's been, 23, 24 years ago, something like that. Let's see here. Didn't your son end up with another Camaro you bought? How's that going? No, we still have not gotten Skylar a car yet. He's actually still on his learner's permit. He turned 16 during this whole quarantine thing, and the poor kid spent his 16th birthday at his grandparents' quarantined with them. But He still doesn't have his license yet. He's still on just a learner's permit, and we're still trying to find him a car. But I think we're looking more at like Hondas or Impalas or something like that now, because just for insurance purposes, because he's going to have to pay his own insurance. So after thinking about it, we were like, maybe a sports car is not the way to go for his first car. The block I used for my 350 build was a 300,000 mile standard bore 350. I used everything out of another standard bore engine that needed a sleeve, but when I checked the ring gap, it was at 0.3 or to 0.32. Yeah, that's a wide ass ring gap, but it ought to be good for spray. I'll be good for a lot of spray. William says spray to help spool them up. I was thinking more along the lines of just having it on there for a little oomph if I needed it at the end. I don't know that I'm really going to do a scramble button, but I was thinking if I leave the spray on there, it's like this, man. If I'm the type of person, if I wire in a scramble button, I'm going to be using it all the time. I mean, there's no point in even having a scramble button, because if you put a scramble button on my steering wheel, every fucking time that car clicks in a second, I'm going to be on that scramble button. So it's pointless. It would make more sense for me to just put the amount of boost in that I want to run for that particular run, whatever it may be, which is easily adjustable with the Holly. It would make more sense for me to just put that in there and have like a 25 or 50 shot ready in case of a emergency, where it was like say I'm final round and this guy is fucking neck and neck with me, and I'm like, oh fuck, that would, I would be way less likely to hit that button if I knew it was nitrous and had the potential to do some really bad shit if I hit it, than if I had a scramble button and I knew it could take it, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, just as like an emergency situation, would be why I would leave that on there. Let's see. I learned a lot from your Turbo C10 too. I learned I'm not nearly smart enough to build a Turbo LS. Yes, you are, JT. It's not hard, guys. If it was hard, I wouldn't be doing it. I mean, I'm not that damn smart, to be honest. I'm just old. I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen things, man. Things and stuff. Let's see. Amen. Pumps matter. Get the real deal. It's only a difference of $70. Yeah, guys. Don't cheap out on your fuel pumps. At least not if you're building something to make some real power. I mean, if you're building a 350, 400 horsepower NA engine, fucking buy whatever you want, man. I don't give a shit. But if you're gonna be running boost or nitrous, get you a good pump, man. Don't buy that cheap shit. Their cheapest pump I would ever run is a Holly Blue or Holly Black. Yeah, those are for carburetors. With front mount fuel cell, you can get away with a Holly Blue with a 500 shot. Yeah, I don't know. I've never run a 500 shot. I don't know if we'll even get close to a 500 shot on this. We may get close to 4, because we'll probably jet one kit for 200 and maybe jet the other one for 200 too, and we can bring them both in progressive. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. Let's see here. A stock 88 5.0 came with forged pistons. I didn't know that. If that's true, then that would explain a lot. Because like I said, man, he beat the shit out of it. I never even drove that car. I rode in it, but I never drove it. But yeah, it took a lot of abuse. So if they really did come with forged pistons, I'm not a Ford guy. I don't fucking know. But if they did, that would partially explain why it held up so well. Any thoughts on supercharging a 5.3 on an 04 Avalanche? Yeah, fucking, if you got the money, do it. I've been talking about, I don't really recognize your name, so I'm assuming you're new here, but I've been talking about doing an LSA blower on my '07 Avalanche for like a year now. I'm really wanting to do it, but all my money is going into the Corvette, the Camaro. I don't have the money to do it, but I wanted to do it on my '07 Avalanche, just because we use it as a tow vehicle, and I was like, it'd be nice to have, some more bottom end grunt, and LSA is definitely good for bottom end grunt. I mean, that's kind of what they do. If you're asking about a kit or whatever, I know there's a website called Boost District. I think that's what it's called, boostdistrict.com, and he puts together packages with LSA blower and everything you need. I think maybe even the fuel injectors. I think it does. I think it's everything you need except for the tune itself, for like $3,500 on pretty much any vehicle. It's all your accessory brackets and everything. It's boostdistrict.com, so check that out. Or if it's something you want to piece together, or if you find a good deal on the LSA and you want to piece the rest of it together, LSX Innovations, my sponsor, LSX Innovations actually has a complete accessory drive kit that's made to use with an LSA blower, like a 6-rib pulley kit and all that, and it's pretty cheap. It's a lot cheaper than most of the competitors. So if you want to go that route, get a hold of LSX Innovations. Actually, the LSX Innovations website link is under my sponsor list in my video description now. So let's see. If you can afford it, Magnuson makes some nice kits. Yeah, they do, but they're proud of them. Jeff Lyle, I have a 16-year-old in Texas. Insurance was $2,000 a year for a 10-year-old Civic, or $2,100 a year for a 2010 V6 Camaro convertible. Guess which one I got? I would hope the fucking Camaro convertible. For that, if that was the difference, that don't make any sense at all. Unless it's got something to do with the crash ratings or something. Because I don't know if y'all know this or not, but like the 2011 Camaros was like #1 crash test ratings in 2011. Like it beat out Honda Accords and everything. Like it got just awesome crash test ratings. You can fact check me on that on Google. Because we made a big deal about it when we bought my wife's. Everybody was like, oh, that's a death trap. And we're like, actually, it's the #1 safest car you can buy in America right now. They did come with forged pistons. I ran a 400-ish wheel 89 GT Mustang at 10 PSI for years at the track. Never hurt the bottom end. Okay, well, there we go. We got confirmation. So I guess, yeah, the 88 and up 5.0 Mustangs had forged pistons. I didn't know that, man. I really didn't. See, back in the day, guys, I was the only Chevy guy. Like, everybody I hung out with drove 5.0 Mustangs, and I had Camaros, Corvettes. I was the Chevy guy. I was the only Chevy guy, so I was used to getting a lot of shit. Let's see. I've heard nothing but positive reviews of Boost District. I had been contemplating going with an LSA Super on my C5. Yeah, man. I actually kicked that idea around a little bit too. I mean, you got to cut the cowl to fit it. As far as I know, that's the only thing you got to cut if you get a cowl induction hood. If you don't get a cowl induction hood, you're going to have to cut a hole in your fucking hood too. If you do get a cowl induction hood, it'll fit under a cowl induction hood, but you still have to cut the cowl back at the windshield. I think you got to trim like 2.5 inches off or something like that for the blower lid to fit. Let's see. I would love an LSA blower. Yeah, and I still, I make the joke all the time. I was like, if this channel was to blow up overnight and start making me all kinds of money or whatever, that'd probably be the first thing I did was I would go to Boost District and buy an LSA set up to put on my Avalanche out there. That'd be my first big purchase. Like I tune on, like I come on here tomorrow and one of my videos all of a sudden went viral or whatever they call it and got like 2 million views overnight, and I'd be like, oh shit, I know where that paycheck's going. Be my luck, it'd be one of my videos that's not monetized. That'd be the video that'd blow up. It'd be the one that's not monetized. Let's see here. Hell yeah, I got the Camaro, yeah. Later, brother, keep up the great work. BLG for a win. Take it easy, Jeff. Let's see here. Mr. John, no exhaust plumbing required like a turbo with an LSA blower. Yeah, LSA blowers are real, well, a supercharger in general is a lot easier to set up than a turbo setup. Turbo's way cheaper, but let's see here. This is so funny. GM Slim, I want to tell you this. GM Slim said, I hope you blow up. I like your videos. First of all, thank you, GM Slim. Second of all, the reason that comment is not showing is because it's asking me to approve it, which I'm doing right now. I'm guessing because you said the phrase, I hope you blow up. YouTube freaking put you in approval mode because of the wording. Let's see here. I was the Chevy guy. Most of my friends all had Pontiacs back when they actually had Pontiac engines and Buicks. Yep. I remember those days. That's why I say my first car was a 73 Oldsmobile Omega. For those of you who don't know, it's the same thing as a Nova, just with a different tail lights and different nose. And of course, back then, you know, it had the Oldsmobile engine and transmission in it. So it had a turbo 350 transmission with the Buick Olds Pontiac pattern, and it had a Oldsmobile 350 rocket in it. That was my first car that I was old enough to drive. I loved that car too, man. I hated the way that went, totaled it out. Let's see here. Hey boss, I'm also building a LS Pro Touring 73 Nova. What is your recommendation on fuel cell, tank, and lines? Well, if you go back and watch the DR Nova playlist, we did I'm not sure what power level you're looking for, but we did a Tanks Inc. Fuel injection, baffled fuel injection tank and fuel pump and all that in the DR Nova. And we went with a 255 pump, but they make that same setup with a 450 wall roll pump. So if you go back to the DR Nova playlist, and it's probably the 10th video or something, I did 2 videos. I done one that said fuel link tank install, and then I did another one that was the fuel system. So I showed how we plumbed the whole fuel system with 3/8 aluminum hardline. So yeah, you can go back and watch that. Like I said, depending on your power level, I mean, that tank, it's working good in the DR Nova, even at the drag strip. I know somebody asked me about like the pump, the pump washing out. Now Ray's not doing killer 60 foots in the car. I think his best 60 foot was like a 1.8 or something, but I mean, we've not had any problems with the pump washing out on it or anything. We'll find out more when he starts launching on nitrous here pretty soon. Was I supposed to say? Was I supposed to tell you guys that already? The DR Nova's getting nitrous soon. Let's see here. I'm hoping to find an LSA blower in a junkyard CTSV someday, sooner than later. Well, if you find it, check for shaft play. I know that's a big deal with those LSAs, but it's not a big deal to fix. It's like a $30 fix. That bushing in there goes bad, you just replace it with a solid bushing. You know anyone you would trust to delete my VATs and whatever else I need for my factory LS computer. Kenny. Oh crap! Why can I not think? Kenny Cash. Kenny Cash can do it. When I stopped doing all that stuff, I started steering everybody to Kenny Cash. I know some people don't like him, but you know the people that do kind of overwhelm the people that don't. And I will say this: nobody I have sent to Kenny Cash has ever come back and said anything bad after I sent them to him. So, yeah, Kenny Cash. Look him up on Facebook. I think he only charges like $75 to do a standalone tune on your PCM. I do it like guys. I still sometimes, like if I'm at the track and I've got my HP tuners, my MPVI Pro interface with me. If somebody's having a problem, I'll try to help them out or something. And I've got most stuff unlocked already, where I tune so many different vehicles. Like I've got all the truck PCMs unlocked, so I don't have to pay for credits anymore for that. So if I see somebody having a problem and I think I can help them, I'll help them at the track or whatever. But I'm not like I just don't have time, guys. Okay, I don't have time to spend all day street tuning somebody's car anymore, and I don't have time to take people's orders in, you know, like you guys send me your stuff. So that's why I said I made a decision like 2 years ago that I was just going to start directing all my traffic to Kenny Cash. So that's what I do. I tell everybody to look Kenny up. I dig Omegas. I loved my Omega, man. I mean, honestly, I like the split grill look in the front end and everything. Let's see, I want to build my 6.0 LS for my 87 C10. I want to run twins through mufflers and call it silent but deadly. Know this, man. Know this. Mufflers have a huge, huge effect on power output of turbochargers. Like a turbo works best when there's no pipe behind it at all. That's when it's most efficient. Every extra foot of pipe you put behind that turbo, and any kind of restriction at all, any restriction is going to severely cripple, you know, the output capability of that turbocharger. Just know that. So, like, I personally, I wouldn't recommend running anything but like a straight through style muffler behind a turbo. And I really wouldn't even do that. But I mean, you could, like if you did like a MagnaFlow, a straight through MagnaFlow style, pair of MagnaFlow style mufflers or something, it probably wouldn't be too bad, but it would still stifle it a little bit. But the turbo kills the noise level so much already. You run the turbo and a muffler, and yeah, it's gonna be real quiet. Thanks, man, much appreciated. Love your videos. Thank you, Rich. Thanks for watching, man. Kyle, I want to be okay. We already did that. I dig Venturas and Apollos too. I like Venturas. I can't stand Apollos. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think the Apollos, of all the Nova variations, the Buick Apollo has got to be the ugliest one ever. Like the front end is it's just so weird looking. I don't know. Of course, the middle's the same on all of them. It's just the nose and the ass that's different. Way to go, Uncle Ray. Give the Nova the spray. Yeah, Phil. We've been talking about it for a while. He's been going back and forth on it, but I asked him to make a hard decision on it a couple weeks ago. I was like, I just need to know because I'm going to start planning for it and figuring out what kind of setup we're going to do, you know, and he said for sure yes. So the Nova is definitely getting some spray. It won't be a huge shot, maybe 100 to 150. I think he just wants to hit sixes, just touch sixes, and he'll be happy with it. So honestly, he might be able to do that on a 100 shot if it dead hooks. I don't see any reason why he couldn't. A 125 for sure should get him in the sixes. Let's see, look at videos. I want to build blah blah blah. I do patrol. Man, where am I at, guys? Perfect. Thanks to LSX, or thanks LSX Innovation. I'll check it out. Keep up the great work. Stay safe. It's your day job, not job. You guys are the best at what you do. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Swaps and stuff. Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, bad luck. What up, gang? Nothing, man. Just sitting here sipping a beer, talking to you guys. Mr. John's talking swaps and stuff. Bubblegum and Shoestring Racing says Holly Sniper tank has baffles. It's the same tank, man. The Holly Sniper tank and the Tanks Inc. tank is the exact same tank. I'm 99.9% sure of it. The only difference is about $50 more for the Holly tank. The Tanks Inc. tank, the Holly tanks, and the is it FI Tech? Is it FI Tech? No, the Aeromotive tanks. I'm pretty sure they're all three the same tanks. But Tanks Inc. was the first company that came out and started making the retrofit tanks with the baffle for fuel injection for all the old cars and stuff. And I'm not sure if Holly owns them or, Holly, some of you guys might not know this, but Holly is a parent company to pretty much every hot rod company out there now. They own everything. They own NOS, they own Taylor, I think. They own Earl's Plumbing, they own MSD, they own Hooker. Holly is the parent company to so many different, they've bought up everything, guys. It's to a point where it doesn't really matter what you buy. If you're buying a name brand part, ultimately Holly's getting that money. They just they have taken over the whole aftermarket hot rod scene, or industry rather. And it's really funny too. A good example is I showed you guys a couple videos ago when I was hooking up the nitrous system to the Holly HP in Chaos Theory, and I used that little NOS solid state relay. Well, Holly sells the exact same relay, except it's got a Holly sticker on it, and it's $100. But you buy the same relay, but it says NOS on it, and it's only $70. Well, here's the really funny part, is both those relays are on Holly's website. So you're looking at the identical relays, but one says NOS and the other says Holly, and the one that says NOS is like $30 cheaper. On Holly's website, on the same website. So, yeah. It's just one of those things, guys. I like the 73 GTO, but my favorite is still the Nova. Looking forward to seeing it. X bodies, yeah, shitbox, they're all X bodies. Mr. Black, does anyone know if a 35,000 mile old CTSV LSA with a solid state isolator or a solid isolator and a grip tech pulley removed functional is worth $900? Fuck yeah, it is. Oh, no lid or fuel rails. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've not researched into it that much. When you go to start buying individual parts, sorry guys, I'm still having neck and shoulder issues. That's why I'm rubbing my shoulder. I don't know, man. I would research and just see what people are getting for just the base. Because the lid itself, that's several $100s. Yeah, that'd be tight. What's the beer of the night? Same beer I drink anytime. I don't want to say every night. People think I'm an alcoholic. Yingling, man, Yingling. I've already peeled the label off though, so you can't see it. Dang, 900 isn't bad, I guess. 900 would be a damn good deal for the whole blower, but missing the lid and fuel rails and everything, I'm not so sure. Phil, Holly owns B&M. Yes, they do. Because when I was trying to find parts for this B&M shifter we installed in Chaos Theory here, I had to call Holly. Let's see. William says, yeah, I have a 5-inch exhaust on my diesel straight pipe. It sounds great. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we're dying down now. And it's almost 10 o'clock. So we've got our t-shirt winner. Once again, congratulations to George. And hopefully he hits me up in the email soon and we'll get that shirt shipped out. But everybody's gone quiet, so I'm going to get off here, guys. So once again, get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time on Bad Luck Garage.